the show. Everybody else stand by. We're going to be going to Facebook here in just about 15 seconds to make certain everybody is on board with everything. This may be a very short newscast as I am feeling pretty puny at this point. Again, stay tuned for more. We'll have updates on everything, including some very active tropics starting in just a second or two right about now. All right, we are live. It is Monday, August 24th. This may wind up being a very short weather overtime, unfortunately, due to the fact that whatever I've picked up does not feel nice, to say the least, and I'm trying to conserve my voice so that I will be able to have something to speak with on the News 12 at 11 for tonight. So may let everybody out there do the driving for this as we go throughout the evening. If anybody has any questions about it, if you've never been here before, welcome to the show. This is Weather Overtime. This is our online video exclusive weather blog to give you an idea as to what is going on with the forecast, so we can give people an idea as to what is happening out there. Much of what we're looking at, again, for the rest of the next couple of days will be the potential of just basically hot weather, but not too much in the way of humidity either. It is, as I said, it's Monday, the 24th of August. It is quiet for right now. Hopefully it stays that way into later on this week, which would be nice, because if it does, we will be getting a much better view of the lunar eclipse, partial lunar eclipse, that'll be happening toward about Thursday night into Friday morning. We'll time things out for you. Unfortunately, as our next storm systems begin to roll on through, we may see the potential of some interruptions to the eclipse. We hope not, but again, we have to kind of take that into account as we look a little farther downfield on things. If you have any questions about the forecast, please drop them into the comments section. We're on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook Live if you'd like to ask anything. Nice to have everybody going along, but if there's one or another video streaming services you would prefer, go ahead and hop on there and let us know which one is your favorite, and we'll continue to stream on there. Rest of the next couple of days should be some pretty picturesque conditions for anything in the way of weather pictures. This one, the weather window for Monday, courtesy of News 12 viewer Charlotte Dishman from Dunlop. A very nice backlit thunderstorm anvil top. You can see it spreading out there as it hits the lower levels of the stratosphere. Again, a little bit more in the way of sunshine back to wherever this direction this is pointing. But thanks a lot to Charlotte Dishman from Dunlop for a very good view of a rising thunderstorm there. That's our weather picture of the day. If you've got pictures, you can go to our website, drop them to social media, or again, just drop them to, again, our email address, pictures@WDEF.com. Out and about for the morning bus stop for school. Not bad. Temperatures, again, at or just below normal for this time of the year, back in the mid-60s. Not too much farther below that, but could be some possible 50s out there, but hot and plenty of sunshine on the way home. Chattanooga Zoo web camera looking off to the west, where there was a spectacular sunset just about a couple of hours ago, but as of right now, not showing too much outside the lights of some of the practice fields over there. If you'd like to check out our webcams from the EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam Network page, go to our website, WDEF.com/weather, to pick up that page there. Currently, again, 75, and the dew point temperature well below where we should be for this night. Again, that's very much, for this time of the year, that's very dry air. So that's very much on the comfortable side for this evening. Not too much in the way of smoke. There are dozens of new spot fires, according to the VEER satellite system. Thicker smoke from West Virginia all the way up to about Chicago, and minor plumes, but still adding to the general overall wildfire smoke across the southeast United States. Now, overall, we are not seeing a problem where it comes to anything involving major amounts of pollutants. We are seeing some of the area picking up a little bit more in the way of carbon monoxide, but again, this looks kind of high, triple digits, but this is again, in parts per billion, so it's not all that much to really see there. Ozone, 36, a little higher, but the particle pollution that is smoke, soot, and exhaust is down to a single digit. So we are showing some very nice conditions, even though we've got a yellow or moderate air quality across the Chattanooga area. For anything involving allergens, the Chattanooga Allergy Clinic is showing that we do have a little bit of mold spores out there. That's the highest level that we have for right now. Tree pollen remains at low, grass and weed pollen remain at moderate, so not as bad as it could be, but not as good as it would be nice to have with some clearer skies and drier weather out there. We've got an area of high pressure. We've actually got kind of a conveyor belt of high pressures from over around portions of Hudson Bay in Canada, pushing this drier, slightly cooler air down our direction, and that is responsible for pushing that front and that moisture-rich air down to our south. So that is giving us a break on the humidity. All the really hot, muggy air from Houston all the way over to the Outer Banks, and then a couple of storm systems. The first one tries to wander through. The second one will make its way through as we go into the later portions of the weekend. So we will see better possibilities of showers and thunderstorms from these systems developing as they get a little bit closer to us here. We don't see anything in the way of severe weather for right now, so that's good news. On Wednesday night, late into Thursday, there could be the potential of some flash flooding for portions of the area, but for right now, again, not that much to be expected, and that mainly south and west of Chattanooga. Temperatures will remain on the warm side, back in the lower to mid 90s. But the rest of the forecast will be very straight and narrow on the temperature numbers, not seeing a lot of change anytime soon. So low temperatures tonight, northeast Alabama will be back into the low to mid 60s, and then we'll also see again temperatures a little cooler in north central Georgia, back in the lower 60s there, low to mid 60s around northwest Georgia. Coolest numbers into western North Carolina, good portion of mid-50s here, and then as we go into and around the area of southeast Tennessee, a few 50s over toward Ducktown, Copper Hill, the Tennessee-North Carolina line. Everybody else primarily back in the lower 60s, but parts of the River Valley may see numbers back into the mid-60s for low temperatures. High temperatures tomorrow, right about where they have been, back into the high 80s to around the lower 90s. And then for the next several days, this is where things really start to kind of turn around a little bit. We see much above normal temperatures as we end August and head into September. And then with the precipitation, that basically balances out to just near normal across much of the southeast United States. So not looking at an overabundance there. Starts to pick up a little bit closer to us, but we still remain around normal as we head into late September. Time is flying there. And temperatures into the next few days. Here's the really interesting news. If this pans out, and again, this is a medium range model from the Climate Prediction Center showing, as of right now, the downturn in temperatures coming up from August into September. Now, again, a lot can change in 30 days, so take this with a grain of salt. And then as we look over toward the west, the really hot conditions will remain all the way back into around the Pacific Northwest, the Great Basin, parts of the Northern Rockies. That'll be the worst potential there. But if this works, we might be looking at the potential for a bit of a cool down taking place. Again, I'm hoping, there's no guarantee about this, but we will be continuing again to see the potential of that anyway in the near future. Tropics, lots to talk about for tonight. This is really a bit of an uptick in what we saw in the last couple of weeks, but that's normal. We're approaching the peak of hurricane season on September the 10th. That's the midpoint of the season. Now we also, today is kind of an auspicious day because this is the anniversary of Hurricane Andrew making landfall on the east coast of Florida. So this is a big day when it comes to the tropics. First disturbance, again, doesn't look like much from here, but it does show a 50-50 chance of developing. And then the next one just off of Africa, moving into the central areas of the Atlantic. This one shows a 60% chance of some development. Neither one of these is an immediate threat, And it is possible that, again, as these make their way up and going to the north and to the central part of the Atlantic, it is possible that we could see the possibility of these rotating up and taking a strong northerly turn. That, again, will push them into the colder waters, but there is, again, a chance that this storm system could make their way into around the Pacific, or around eventually the Pacific, but first of all the Caribbean, the Gulf, and into around portions of the Western Atlantic. So this one I would watch with a lot of interest. Then, and first of all, wow, because this is as active as I have seen the Pacific in many, many years. We have so much going on here. We have two tropical storms. Let me see, two tropical storms, one depression, and four possible new systems firing up from east of Hawaii to west of Central America. So 1, 2, 3, 4, yellow, orange, red, and yellow once again. Yellow is not much of a chance. Orange is a moderate chance. Red is a high chance. We have two tropical storms on the map. Now, Lala is still going. It is still a tropical storm northwest of Hawaii, moving out into the colder waters of the North Pacific. We also have brand new tropical storm Iselle, I-S-E-L-L-E. That one also making its way to the north and west. And then right past the Hawaiian Islands, now down to a tropical depression, Moke is making its way south of the Hawaiian Islands and does not appear to be a major threat for now. So we have got a ton going on in the Pacific, and that is pure, flat-out normal for this time of the year. Whether or not any of these develop here, going to have to wait and see as to what really goes on. Island Cove on the EPB Fiber Optics WeatherCam network page. Not too much happening for right now. Sylvester the Spider trying to chime in on the right-hand side. Welcome to the show, Sylvester. Hope you're catching those mosquitoes out there. Numbers in the next few days, again, very straightforward on the temperatures, both highs and lows. And there he goes right there. Sorry for the arachnophobes out there. Should have warned you about Sylvester. He wanders into frame every once in a while. There's also the potential of showers and thunderstorms coming through. One late Tuesday, Wednesday afternoon and evening, and then the better chance coming our way as we go into Thursday afternoon and evening. Now, no chance of severe weather with this, but it is possible that this could interfere with the lunar eclipse coming up. If that happens, we may not be able to see too much of it here. Again, that's iffy. It's still several days out, so we'll watch and see where we go with this, but it is still possible. And then next week, as we get closer and closer to the end of the month, few chances of showers and thunderstorms, but temperatures will remain just right smack around normal, back in the lower 90s. So that, again, this is typical. This is about as typical as you can get for this area of the country for this time of the year. So we're just not looking at too much in the way of any relief coming up. At least it's not triple digits, we can say that, but that's a very small comfort when you're working or exercising outdoors in these temperatures. Coming up next Thursday evening, very late, toward about midnight, the next partial lunar eclipse will begin, and it will be visible, weather permitting, from the News 12 viewing area in and around southeast Tennessee, northeast Alabama, back into northern Georgia and western North Carolina, but clouds and rain are going to make that kind of iffy, unfortunately. Now, it's a partial lunar eclipse. There will be a very, very slim crescent that will not be covered by Earth's shadow. It will not pass totally over it. It'll just be a partial, but a slim ribbon of light will be at the top portion of the moon. Most of it will be dark red, and that'll happen. The peak will be happening at just past midnight. This should be a beautiful view from what we can see out there on the night of the full moon. And then the moon comes out of Earth's shadow, and the eclipse ends at about 3 o'clock in the morning. So we do see, again, the potential, hopefully, of getting some of that viewed in there. But for right now, again, I wish I could say better, but it is kind of on the iffy side, but we'll keep our eyes on that, so keep it tuned to more for News 12 for more details on that. Our weather poll question of the day. If you'd like to take a look at the other polls available and venture your opinion, please do so at WDEF.com/vote now. The question of the day, it was all up to you. It wasn't picking the right answer. It was picking your favorite. We do this every Friday. The poll lasts through the weekend, and you pick your favorite HEP heating weather window picture of the day from this past week. And we had some doozies out there. Beautiful view out there, including an infrared picture of clouds from News 12 viewer Don Jernigan from Saudi Daisy. Your picture, Mr. Don, was actually in the lead until about news time at Prime News at 7 when John Marenka, hope I'm saying that right, from Lakeside, your picture of a sunrise on Sunday with the cooling towers, I believe, of Sequoia Nuclear bracketing the sunrise there. Beautiful shot. That broke out and took the first place spot, and you had a three-way. Number 2 was Mr. Jernigan's infrared picture, and then a three-way tie for third place. So thanks to everybody who voted in our poll. Really do appreciate it. New poll goes up at midnight. Never know what we'll ask. Could be about weather, science, environmental stuff. I think we have some information about plastic pollution coming up here in the next couple of days, so stay tuned for that, and we'll keep you advised there. It may not seem like much, but it does matter, because the more energy we use and waste, the worse off we are. We spend more money, we reduce our natural resources, we pollute the atmosphere, we pollute a lot of stuff. So if you're able to help reduce the amount of lighting in and around your particular location, that could be a help. And cities and counties and municipal areas should really think about this. So if there's anybody from Chattanooga city government who's watching this tonight, this could be a very big bragging point to say we are wanting to help conserve, and we want to be able to help the birds which are passing through the area find their way a little bit easier, because all that bright light from all that unnecessary lights that we have that are just flooding upwards into the sky, that can really cause problems with migration, and we need to be able to help our fine feathered friends as much as we possibly can. And as of right now, according to Cornell University's Birdcast at Cornell Lab, we have just started in about the last, say, 10 days, the first migration period. Now, some of you out there are probably going to say, oh, that's ridiculous. Birds don't migrate until about Thanksgiving, at least until Halloween. Well, some of them don't migrate until then. A lot of birds, and as you can see again with some of these blobs that we see on there, showing again from dark purple to white and yellow, the best potential for those birds heading south. Some species do migrate right around the end of summertime to take off for climates that are further south and much warmer. That does happen, and a lot of them travel by night. And unfortunately, the lights that we leave on that we don't need on can confuse them, distract them, even kill them whenever birds run into very brightly lit buildings that they thought was a mirror, a piece of glass, something like that could really distract them, and bang, that could take them out of the picture entirely. So if you'd like to help, there's a lot of things you can do, not just with turning off lights, but talking more about stuff like this. The website, very easy to go to. You can go to birdcast, one word, birdcast.org if you'd like to find out more. And please do so, because there are all things that we can do to help the environment out in many different ways. Conservation, ecology, science communication, anything like that is something that you don't have to have a PhD to talk about this and to get people to listen to what is really important and how we can all be of service. So if you want to track these migrations, very neat to see the paths going on here. And Chattanooga and parts of the News 12 viewing area are right on some of those paths as they head southward. A good portion of them follow the Rockies down into New Mexico and Texas, and they are already in motion. So we are seeing the beginnings of everything. A lot of the times, if you watch on radar, especially early in the morning, you watch the radar sight, the point, and there appears to be a circle emerging from the radar sight. That is called a roost ring. That is where the birds spread out from a particular area and do a good job of flying away from a particular location, and that because of all those birds on radar. Radar can pick up those solid objects, bounce energy waves off of them very, very easily. So it is possible, again, you can see a lot of birds in the skies heading south as we get into those migratory periods, and it is that time, according to, again, the fall migration period started August 15th, and it goes until right before December. Tons of information available here. Go to birdcast.org if you'd like to find out more on that. Chip's got your forecast in the morning, and it's going to be nice. Temperatures will be back into the mid-60s for most of the area. Could be some 50s out there from time to time, but otherwise not looking too bad. Forget the rain gear tomorrow. You're not going to need it. Showing, again, some very calm conditions. There could be, again, I want to say it's not really possible with the drier air going on, but it is possible that we could see some more patchy, dense fog across portions of the area, so please be prepared for that as you get into tomorrow morning. Again, should be very quiet, and the possibility of more showers and thunderstorms coming our way as we get into the period toward the end of the week. Might also be a problem for Friday night football. I just thought about that, so that, again, could be something to really pay attention to, especially for outdoor athletic events coming up by the end of the week. That should do it for tonight. Fairly quiet night. We managed to stay on for about 20 minutes, but my throat could use a break. Catching whatever I've caught, I do need to kind of give myself a little bit of some grace period here tonight. Thanks to everybody for tuning in on Twitch, YouTube. No questions over there. Thanks to everybody for watching on Facebook for tonight. Really appreciate everybody making the effort to at least tune in for just a little bit. If you've got any questions about anything, please drop us a line. Again, the email address down below at aonek@wdef.com. Would love to hear from you. Suggestions, comments, ideas, complaints, if you must, go right ahead. We'll forward them on to the regular people around here who need to see stuff like that, including my boss and my boss's boss and my boss's boss's boss, should that become necessary on there, so please send those along. That'll do it for now. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austen Onek. Thanks for joining us for Monday's edition of Weather Overtime. Stay tuned for more tonight on News 12 at 11. Chip's got your forecast in the morning starting at 5 a.m. Eastern. You can also watch online at WDEF.com, so stay tuned for that. And, of course, I'll be back tomorrow night. Thanks for joining us, and keep it tuned to News 12 on